Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Anonymous Code. There's a whole lot of just crazy stuff going on right now here at the old Gaia Institution and really just in general. Calamity truly is at our doorstep. It is right there, plus it's also the slated day for Calamity to occur here with Asuma. Asuma's mother is for sure in danger. We couldn't even find her, actually. We came to the slated room that she was, told to be in, and, well, she's not there, so not sure what's going on with that front. Asuma is, I think he's losing his cool ever so quickly here, because he, I think he maybe Omni-Manned a whole bunch of army soldiers with his mind or something. I'm not really sure what went down there, but yeah, there's something extra going on here with Asuma. Rosario is dead, Ewan is dead, so it's all falling apart right before I'm sure we're bound to jump back and utilize everything that we've learned to try and structure a proper way to go about things here. There wasn't a single soldier in Gaia's control room. Did they all die? I haven't even seen Graham yet. No, that didn't matter right now. What was happening to Mother? What did Momo see? I'm still really curious as to what she saw. Lucia looked tense. She was muttering something to herself. Wait, no, she was talking over BMI.
Oi.
I walked up to her and grabbed her by the collar.
Takaoka Pollon to 話してるんだろう。こそこそするな。僕とつなげ。でも、つなげよ。
She nodded and I let go of her.
つなぎます。
アスマ。母さんは無事なのか。
Well, we don't know about that.
無事なのかよ。
いなかった。クレードルには誰もいなかった。もぬけの殻だ。
いなかったって。
Yeah, and there wasn't like a spot for anybody to hide in that room either. It was quite a big ass open barren room. But how?
誰かがお前の母親を連れ出した。特定できないか。
Wasn't the door to it open? It was like a big ass safe door and it was open, right? The most likely culprit, the one who first came to mind, was Juno. She had ties to Pollon Takaoka. With her quantum teleportation, it would have been possible for her to take my mother away without anyone noticing. When I checked the cradle's quantum fluctuation stats, however, I saw nothing unusual, so it wasn't Juno. Who was it then? Who had taken her away? Who? I still couldn't access the cradle's security cams. Every feed showed a black screen. I didn't know if the cameras had been shut down or completely disconnected. I tried checking the recordings the moment before they went dead, but they didn't show anything unusual in the room. All I saw was Mother sleeping in bed. No one had been inside.
どこにいるんだよ。
Yeah, she's probably not dead yet,
どこだ。
but we're definitely going towards that route.
どこだ。
I had to find her. I had to find her
ア
fast.
スマさん。
As I worked my device, Lucia grabbed my hands and held them tight. I couldn't work my calculations like this.
深呼吸を。
Hearing that, I realized I was close to hyperventilating. Bro, you've been close to hyperventilating for such a long time. Yeah, as soon as this kid loses his cool, he really loses it. It's either he's calm, collected, and just, irritable, or he's on, like, the brink of causing, mass chaos of those around him. I tried to stabilize myself. How did someone manage to unlock the cradle? I was the only one who knew about it, the only one capable of turning off its security. Well, yeah, Earth simulators do exist everywhere, and again, the Holy Office 513, as we have actually seen, their calculations and everything, they've got a pretty dependable one as well. It isn't really possible for people to have secrets nowadays, is it? I was the only one. No, there was another. The man who worked as my assistant. But he had been shot dead by the army in this very room. He was killed. Almost on a whim, I glanced down. The control room's floor was dirty with the footprints of the soldiers, but there were no other stains of any sort. What happened to the blood? For some reason, there was no indication someone had bled or been shot here.
Asuma.
Oh, no. No, it had to be him. It just had to be. I mean, there was still a sinking feeling throughout the entirety of the game. We just haven't seen enough of Iwan. So obviously, you got to wonder, you know, what's his goal? Fucking shit, dude. The voice startled me. I looked up to see someone at the entrance to the control room. Yeah, a whole lot really does become clear whenever, you know, the only other person that knew this shit, you know, kind of comes before us despite supposedly being dead. It's like, okay, you've ripped out the curtain before our very eyes. He should have been dead. It was on video. The soldiers had shot him. I saw it happen, but
これを君に
his expression blank. Ewan handed me a stuffed bear, just like he always did. It was one I had never seen before. Ewan was bleeding from the wrist, and his blood had dyed the bear's head red.
受け取ってほしい
With a strength at odds with his scrawny build, he ripped the bear apart. And amongst the cotton was a sharp knife. Ewan took it in hand and swung it at me. Lucia stood between us as if to protect me. Over her shoulder, I saw Ewan's eyes, and they were completely devoid of emotion. The moment our eyes met, I understood everything.
お前か
In my head, I wished for something. I wished for him to be struck by a bolt of lightning. There and then, I visualized it. And the moment I did... What? Ewan's body began to convulse, as if he had been struck by lightning. Interesting. Isn't that very interesting? The knife fell from his hands and to the floor moments before it pierced my neck. He collapsed where he stood. I saw that his carrier node was shorting out. Was it malfunctioning? Not that it mattered.
お
Well,
前かお
I
前
mean,
だ
if he
な
just got electrocuted or you know, struck by lightning, then yeah, I mean. I pushed Lucia out of my way and walked over to Ewan.
けど少なくとも無害だったでも騙してたのかよガイアすら騙したのかよ
He had managed to fool Gaia's predictions. I could think of only one thing. Other Earth simulators, yeah, obviously.
母さんはどこだ
Ewan smiled as if he was about to cry.
神の
No, dude. No way, bro. He's that far gone.
彼女ならばそこに
I sent someone else here. The person who had joined us in the control room was... Mother. She was barely standing and her expression was completely vacant. She looked ready to collapse. She was supposed to be unconscious, bedridden. How was she standing? How was she walking? Had she woken up?
彼女は心神喪失だったわけではない
Yeah, I was kind of questionable of that one in the previous episode. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was a little confused on that one. I didn't say anything. That was kind of weird because the doctor said that she went into a coma, but then like she had woken up or something, or I don't know. It was kind of weird.
1年以上前から私がずっと薬漬けにして眠らせていたんだ
Ah, yeah, that'll do it.
全ては君
The
が
old
災
bait
い
and
と化す
switch manually keep somebody in a coma maneuver. What was he talking about? No, Ewan did not matter right now. Actually, he did bring up Calamity right here. Yep.
母さん
Drugging, Calamity, none of that mattered to me right now. All that mattered was that Mother was awake. I'd been hoping for this. I was waiting for the day that she would recover so we could live together as a family, but I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen. Because now that she's awake, now that she's not being kept asleep, she will remind Asuma of her true feelings. There's no living together as a family. She will break him. She looked at me. She called me by name. How long had it been? When was the last time I had heard her say my name?
母さん
I approached her, ready to have her hug me. I extended my hand to her. That was when I realized in her hand was the knife Iwan had dropped. Yeah, we're seeing her real feelings here all of a sudden, huh? She smiled and spoke.
あなたの顔も見たくないの。
Wowzers. The next moment, she shoved the knife into her own neck. She crumpled to the floor right before my eyes. Blood pooled from her wound. Wow, so the one that actually takes out Asuma's mother is Asuma's mother. Oh, here we go. Well, time for the end of the world. Or the end of everybody in the vicinity, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't really understand what Asuma's power is, but it seems to be a type of... shoot, I don't know what you really want to call it. Think it, and if your thoughts are strong enough, well, that just became reality. And, where have we seen that before? Momo had shared her vision with me. Through her, I saw Asuma's mom commit suicide. I saw the moment Asuma snapped too. Yeah, what a wild, series of events there. They drove him to the edge and then forced him to watch as his mom killed herself. The Holy Office bastards had planned everything out for this cruel outcome. But I could still turn this around.
ポロンさん、お願いします。どうか。
ああ、任せろ。
Yep, time to load, right? Come on, Anon, there's no time to spare, unless there's more we need to see. I don't want us to jump too early because we saw what happens when we do that in the last quest that we were doing. But I feel like we've seen enough. I feel like we can at least attempt some things. I mean, if this isn't the time, then we continue along here, I guess. Wait, so when are we jumping to? When we came across Asuma for the first time? I don't remember where our save point was. Yeah, okay, it is. Okay, so Iwan dying absolutely does not occur here. 100% Iwan does not die. However, we need to act, somehow. We need to protect Rosario as well. She's definitely at risk here. Asuma glared at me. This was the moment he found us. We didn't have much time, so I got straight to the point. Yeah, the problem is that we have to get Asuma to actually believe us.
見てきたんですね。
I don't know if him believing us is actually checking out our percentage changing on the Earth simulator, but I don't know. We got to try and convince him somehow. He's going to be the hardest egg to crack.
Oi, まずいぞ。
Oh yeah?
来たな、おっさん。
Yep, it's time.
防衛省が動いたか？
ああ、そうだ。特殊作戦軍に防衛大臣が直接命令を下した。命令内容は外機関を制圧せよだ。
Maybe it was because Asuma just heard that news himself, but the guy was staring daggers at me, and they were sharper than before.
やっぱりお前も未来予測をしてるんだな。
In a
どこの
way.
地球シミュレーターを使ってる。
今日を生き延びたら教えてやるよ。それよりユアンの動きに注意しろ。
おい、ユアン、どこだ？どこをほっつき歩いてる？
Asuma still seems skeptical, but he called Iwan on his BMI.
おい、ガイアを軍に触らせるなよ。そっちの様子を見せろ。おい、何勝手に切ってるんだ。
Yeah, he was most definitely listening in on that one.
返事しろよ、ユアン。ユアン！殺された。ユアンが死んだ。
でもそれはフェイクだ。奴は。
Oh, okay, he
死んでない
just saw the footage. Okay. All right. So how do we got to try and convince him somehow, though. We have to fully get him on our side a lot faster than we somewhat did in the first go-around. Iwan was probably on his way to take Asuma's mom out of the cradle. There was only one path there. If we waited for him at the entrance, we could stop him. And Iwan was in Gaia's control room, so we were closer to the cradle than he was. We could get there first. Iwan probably didn't even realize we knew what he was up to. He wouldn't be in a hurry. We could get the better of him. Asuma had joined us, but he was still wary of me, of course. He had checked the institution's observation and security systems. He couldn't confirm that Iwan was still alive. So we figured I was bullshitting him.
そもそもユアンが裏切り者ならガイアがそれを未来予測するんだよ。
Yeah, Gaia's predictions showed nothing that's about to come up, by the way.
そうとも限りません。513政務室の関係者なら。
Before I loaded, it was obvious that Asuma had no idea what Iwan was doing. And that was with Gaia at his disposal, too.
ガイアだって完璧に未来予測ができるわけじゃないだろ。世界に何台も地球シミュレーターがある状況じゃな。アスマ、お前自身がそう言ったんだ。
Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, we'll try and use his own words against him and get him on our side to a good enough point, I suppose.
動くな！起きな、イワン！
Oh, boy. Hello, Iwan. We waited for him at the entrance to the passage leading to the cradle, and sure enough, he came. This guy. We had seen right through his act, but he didn't seem bothered at all. I'm honestly so disappointed that he's actually a bad guy. And not just a bad guy, but he's also a lunatic that works for the Holy Office. God damn it. It's because I like his voice actor. It's just, that voice, it comes through so smooth with, whoever he's voicing. It's just so good.
お前僕を騙してたのか。
And since Jujutsu Kaisen is airing right now, it's Nanami. I'm pretty sure he voices Nanami in Jujutsu Kaisen.
そうなる。残念だ、アスマ。
詳しく話してもらうぞ。
話か。
And then we can take that into the next jump because I'm sure we've got at least 2 more to go. This is just a wicked ass adventure here. This is no quest. This is the real deal. Well, I guess those have been the real deal as well, but this is for our end goal, truly. Iwan rolled up his sleeves. I saw on his arms the cross-like injuries that I had seen on the other believers.
神の名のもとに。
Yeah. Those words sent a chill down my spine. I thought of the co-pilot who had killed himself during the high hack.
よせ！
I darted toward him, but I couldn't get to him in time. He took out a knife, and without hesitation stabbed himself in the neck. Well, so much for that idea.
狂信者め！
Hey, that's my terminology. I was too slow. Now there is no way we could find out why and for how long he had tricked Asuma and Gaia. He obviously had strong ties with the Holy Office, but still, at least we had bought ourselves some time. Now all we had to do was get Miori Soga out of here.
なんだ何が起こってる。
どうした？
クレードルのセキュリティが解除された。
え？なんだって？
Yeah, there's somebody else at work. Iwan's corpse was right there in front of us, and it wasn't a mannequin or some kind of fancy android either. He had died just now, that much was true. So then how did the security get turned off?
誰だこいつ。なんでこいつこんなところに。
He was looking at the security cam feed. I got him to share it with me. The footage showed... Who the fuck? Some guy, who was that? He was wearing a suit and looked like a regular office worker. I remembered that before I loaded I saw a group of 10 or so bleeding Holy Office henchmen. Oh, it was probably just one of them. Was he one of them? Had he been there? I could not remember.
こいつは誰なんだ？
身元を照合した。
Gaia Institution staff? Did that mean he wasn't with the Holy Office? I mean, he could still very well be. I didn't really have my money on Iwan being a part of the Holy Office.
どんなやつだ？
知るもんか。ここには300人近い職員がいる。ほとんどの人間とは会ったこともないんだ。
Yeah, and it doesn't really take too many of them to truly infiltrate this place, to actually work with the Holy Office and have really good control of this place.
っていうかこいつエンジニアですらない広報部の人間だ。なのに外級 CDC が管理するセキュリティを解除したって。
The man did not look right. His hands were covered in blood, and his footsteps were unsteady. He did not seem stable.
ユアンや俺が見かけた政務室の手先どもと同じだ。それならユアンと情報共有してるかもしれない。
And that would explain how a PR guy could get past security, right? The time that we had saved by stopping Iwan had run out immediately. We rushed to the cradle. I had tried contacting Juno for help, but she totally ghosted me again. It took about 5 minutes to get there. That wasn't long, but it felt like forever.
Hachiya!
We ran through the open door and into the cradle. The first thing we saw was a suited man, Hachiya, straddling Miyori Soga.
何やってんだ!
母さんから離れろ!
With dead eyes, Hachiya glanced our way and he spoke. Oh, there it is. Is he killing her? Yep. Alright, time to load again. I'm not the one doing this, by the way. This is out of my hands. Hey, as long as we can avoid a dead end of some sort, you know? Those ones are freaking bothersome.
要件を言えよ、不法侵入者ども。
This load was the one. This time I would not fail.
好きにさせるもんかよ!
Yeah, hopefully we can pull something out of our ass. But we also... Oh, here we go. Okay, stop him. I knew Iwan was going to try and kill himself with that knife, so I waited for the right moment and then tackled him. I was going to say, we don't even know what's going on with Rosario. She ends up killing herself because something deep within from her scar of having to get the cross like embedded on her or whatever. Yeah, she just ends up killing herself. So this damn, I already forgot her name. Whoever that woman was that is not necessarily in charge, but definitely a leader of the Holy Office, she definitely has some pull here. She is doing something, and I'm pretty sure she's directly involved here in this one. I threw him to the ground. Oh, lovely. You want to be a what that badly, you zealot douchebag? Sorry, guys, I'm not that informative. Suddenly, Iwan's eyes closed and he stopped moving. No, he couldn't be. He was still breathing.
キャリアノードをハッキングして強制的に VR モードにしてやった。
Oh, cool. Yeah, but what are we gonna do this time around? Sure, we'll get to the cradle, but it's gonna be a little late. We made it to the cradle before Hachiya, never fucking mind. We got Juno to help this time? How? How did that come about? She said that she could only use quantum teleportation with 2 other people besides herself. That was why Momo had to stay behind and hide. Hachiya did not use insane power like those Holy Office agents. He was just an ordinary person. I punched the guy's lights out while Asuma hacked his carrier node and then neutralized him like he had Iwan. Yeah, that'll work.
なんとか2人目だ。
I had no idea how many more were going to show up, but we couldn't let any through. We didn't have to wait long for more to come. It was the 10 or so pawns that I had encountered when I got here the first time. Just like then, they had cross-shaped wounds on their hands, legs, and necks, and they were all bleeding. You know, it's like Rosario was going to get controlled, and that's why she killed herself. These guys are becoming controlled. So that woman is here. She's definitely doing this. How had they gotten in here anyway? I wondered if the security here was actually trash. Had Iwan guided them? Did he sneak them in here under the Gaia QCDC's nose somehow? And you know what? Iwan was bleeding as well. He may not necessarily be a part of the Holy Office. But that didn't matter right now. First, I had to do something about these bleeding weirdos. Juno was hiding. She spoke as if she had read my mind. She couldn't teleport too often, so I guess she was right.
Asuma, あいつら全員のキャリアノードをハッキングできるか?
当然だろ。でもお前は僕に指図するなよ。
It was just a question. Asuma began working away rapidly on his cube device. While he was busy with that, I figured I could distract the pawns to buy him some time. A moment later, a group of SFG soldiers flooded into the space. I kind of forgot about them. Shit. Even the army found this place.
Asuma, 急げ!
人数を考えろよ、バカが!
There were too many for even the boy genius to hack that fast, huh? What if I pretended to negotiate with them? Before I could put my idea into motion, I heard gunfire. The army had opened fire.
おい! いきなり撃つなよ!
And they weren't just shooting at us. They were targeting the Holy Office henchmen too. Well, they didn't know who the enemy was. The fanatics didn't falter. They responded to the gunfire by throwing knives back. It was way too chaotic for a cozy chat. Corpses were piling up. Yeah, this is really becoming quite something, isn't it? Smoke started to spread throughout the area. Someone must have thrown a smoke grenade. The gunfire wasn't stopping though, so I desperately looked for cover.
Asuma, madaka!
やってる黙れよ
Yeah, the more that we actually talk to him, the slower that he's going to be. Let him fully focus on that. I suddenly noticed that there was a bloodied soldier beside the heavy door to the cradle. He was trying to open the door to get in.
Oi! Tomare!
I darted in his direction, but...
Nanda?
Yeah, what the fuck was that? These vibrations, these sounds, something didn't feel right.
おい、逃げた方がいい。軍が施設を爆破し始めた。
What the fuck?
Ha?
This didn't happen in any of our go-arounds. Why is it happening now?
連中なりふり構わない気だ。
They were gonna cut Asuma off at the coast of the Gaia QCDC and the whole facility? The government actually approved this op. Were they insane? It wasn't like we could leave though. As long as Miori Soga was okay, it didn't matter that we were, getting shelled. Soon the smoke was so thick that I lost sight of the soldier by the door. Crap, he went in. I hunched down to avoid getting hit by a stray bullet, and then rushed into the cradle. Miori Soga was still in her bed unharmed. The bloodied soldier was staggering toward her. I had to get him out of here. Oh, come on. Holy Office had infiltrated the army too. I saw a grenade near his chest. The pin had already been pulled.
Yaba!
Yeah, we gotta load. Again, I'm not the one doing these. Man, we're just constantly looping back. Oh, this is a fucking tough ass one. Eventually, there's got to be some sort of crossroads, some sort of proper path we could take.
QCDC とガイアは諦めろ。母親を守ることだけ考えるんだ。
My desperate attempts to convince Asuma worked. He agreed reluctantly. Miori Soga was unconscious in bed. The army's operation had already begun, and the Holy Office had pawns all over the place.
ジュノ、とにかく今日だけでも逃げ切ってくれ。そうすれば、きっとなんとかなる。
Juno looked dissatisfied, as per usual, but she did not argue. She was going to teleport Asuma and Miori to a cruiser that I had prepped some distance from here. Okay. The plan was for them to use that boat to get away from Tokyo. In a single moment, Juno, Asuma, and Miori disappeared. I had planned for that to happen, so Momo wasn't here. It was just me now.
ポロンさんも早くそこから逃げてください。
Oh yeah, I'm even aware of that. We're kind of, fucked though.
分かってる。
Because they're all coming here. I wasn't the one that the army and the Holy Office were after, so at least they wouldn't kill me on sight. Hopefully. No, they will. They will 100% kill Pollon. Oh yeah, this is about to get fucking difficult though. Taking my time, I made my way out while avoiding both enemy parties.
ジュノ、そっちはどうなってる？もう海の上か？
ポロンさん、変なんです。さっきからジュノさんの応答がなくて。
なんだって？
Had something happened? I had a bad feeling about this.
カオルが今クルーザーのいる埠頭の映像を出す。
衛星からのリアルタイムの映像です。
おいおい。
Okay, well, so much for this idea. It was burning? And when I looked closer, I saw that the ship was covered in blood.
なんてこった。
That wasn't all. Dozens of people were standing on the docks surrounding the cruiser Oz had prepared. At first, I thought they were just curious onlookers. They're not. No. There was something off about them. Regular onlookers would be panicking way more. And even though it was a fuzzy satellite stream, I felt like I could see blood on some of them. Blood flowing from cross-shaped wounds. The Holy Office had set up an ambush then. How had they figured it out so easily? How did they mobilize so many people so quickly? Damn, they've got massive control here. They just have massive control. Were they using their Earth simulator to predict the future whenever I loaded? It was like they could read my every move. Again, I'm not doing this, but we're going on back. This is rough. Like, don't get me wrong, this is really fucking fun, but I just have a lot of bad feelings deep inside that we're in a absolute dead end. I guess it's that feeling of being trapped, which I brought it up in other playthroughs. I hate that feeling where we're just making no progress despite, you know, valiant efforts. This is most definitely one of those cases. I tried getting Juno to escape with Miori alone, but the result was the same. The two got ambushed and killed by them again. I loaded again and asked Asuma about her situation. I thought he might know about the Holy Office, or how the Holy Office were finding their location so easily.
発信機だ。
発信機？
母さんの体には発信機が埋め込まれてる。
Yeah, where? Asuma himself had arranged for his mom to have it, and it had been inside her unconscious body for a while now. That meant the Holy Office knew about the tracker's signal through Iwan.
それに生務室は未来予測もできます。逃げ切れるかどうか。
Simple strategy was not going to cut it. Those Holy Office bastards were about as persistent as bloodhounds. But that made me wonder, how had Asuma overlooked the actions of so many people in his predictions? Something wasn't right here, but what? It's not necessarily that people are, you know, just standing up and, you know, not realizing, but, you know, it's Order 66 time or anything like that. Obviously, that would pop up in a prediction, but utilizing another Earth simulator's predictions in order to basically plan things out, somebody that can control others could definitely change their course of action. So of course, the Gaia won't be able to predict that shit. It can't simulate that. Therefore, Asuma doesn't know that these people are going to do these things. There's just so many things that are changing minute by minute, second by second, basically. And it's all dependent on what we fucking do. Yep, that's her.
ロザリオだ。
When had Rosario told me that again?
ロザリオ、聞こえるか？
No response.
モモ、
まだ若いためか任務に出ている様子はなくて。
Oh, she's somewhere around here, though. She has to be.
なぜ若い彼女にそれが許されているんでしょう。
Well, she was set up to be the artificial Virgin Mary, right? Could she be a core member of the Holy Office? Oh, 100%. Momo said Felino was young, but we already knew from Cicada and Juno that appearances could be deceiving. Waiting for Rosario's call, we headed toward the cradle. You know, as per usual. For the 10th time or so. There she is. Yep, there we go.
成婚か。
Yeah, hopefully that gives Pollon some ideas here on how to properly act. Iwan, the Holy Office fanatics I encountered inside the facility, and that one SFG soldier. They were all bleeding from cross-shaped wounds. Were those the holy marks? If Felino had seen the fate line, and with that knowledge, she was using her sacrament to manipulate people with holy marks. That would explain why we couldn't predict their movements. Yeah, even the Gaia couldn't, straight up. And because she is acting based on her Earth simulator, what's with the Holy Office? It's a fucking chess match here. It seems certain that the one behind all this really was this Felino Arcana. It wouldn't be easy, but I finally had an idea about how to handle this. The problem is that we have no fucking idea where she is. She has to be on site somewhere. That much is certain. She couldn't be, you know, creating these marks on people from a fucking distance. Unless... No, she's most definitely somewhere here. But where is she acting? Hey, yo, what are we doing here? I came back to my senses. What was I doing just now?
ほら、聞いてるのか？
え？俺、どうしてた？
5分くらいいびきかいてたぞ。
いびき？寝てたのか俺。
Yeah, what the fuck? We were having a flashback, kind of like mostly of the people that we came across that were being controlled, but really just the events that stuck out, you know, piecing things together. Wait, more importantly, I had to focus on what was in front of me. I had loaded 9 times so far while trying to prevent Miori Soga's death. My last 2 loads I had spent doing nothing but gathering info. That's how I was able to figure out where Felino Arcana had been hiding. I entered a church in the city, specifically a hidden chapel beneath it. So we didn't even need to go in there. We didn't need to go into the Gaia Institution whatsoever. We just needed to come and confront this Felino character. The place was jam-packed with people. It was about as big as a tennis court. Oh, excuse me, it had a low ceiling and no windows, but it looked like there were close to 100 people here. It was so crowded that I struggled to breathe, and the smell of blood was so strong I almost choked. Everyone here was looking at me. Men and women of all ages, nobody was saying a word. But none of them were bleeding anywhere either. The only one who was... Hello, Felino Arcana, was the girl on the floor below the cross at the other end of the room. That must have been Felino. Momo had said that she was young, but she looked even younger than I imagined. She looked kind of sickly too. Well, yeah, look at her fucking wounds. Her upper chest was exposed and there was a bleeding cross-shaped wound on it. She was sweating heavily and looked like she was in pain. She seemed too weak to even stand.
あんたも聖魂によって操り人形にされてるのか？それならあんたの後ろにいるのは誰だ？
It's her.
聖務室の室長か？それ以外の誰かか？
But why is she, like, it's definitely her, but why is she also leaving marks on herself? She could barely breathe, but she still was able to grin wide. Suddenly, the other believers in the room began to push me back. They stood between me and Felino.
どけ！俺はフェリーノに話があるんだ！
They wouldn't listen. Even when I tried pushing them aside, they resisted. Were they protecting her?
まずいぞ、ポロ。クレードルのセキュリティが解除されたって、ソガースマが言ってる。
Yeah, we gotta stop this quick. We didn't have much time left. Miori Soga was gonna die soon.
どいてくれ！フェリーノと話をさせろ！
I felt a sharp pain in my leg. Despite being on the verge of tears, a small child has stabbed me in the leg with something pointed and pen-like. Damn, it's always the children, huh?
Hallelujah.
Oh boy.
Hallelujah.
Oh boy. The crowd started chanting like they were praying. There were too many of them. Shit, I didn't have time for this, unless we load.
今考えて解いてくれよ！
Was there some way to knock these wackos out? Not all of them had carrier nodes. Was I gonna have to smack their lights out? That was all I could think of. But these people weren't like the Holy Office fanatics that infiltrated the Gaia Institution. There was light in their eyes, and it kinda looked like they were afraid of me. Damn it. It was too late to deal with Felino. If I wanted to do that, I'd have to load further back. I had to get here earlier and handle her when she was still alone. Well, let's do it. Or not. Once I dealt with Felino or whoever giving her orders, I could remove the Holy Office from the equation altogether. Cool, let's do it. I could see the way out of this. Okay, let's do it.
ポロ、アスマの母親が自分で命を。
Okay, we need to fucking jump. I messed up again. But there's still next time. Next time for sure. And yet we're not doing it. Unless there's more information to gain here. Oh, okay, it's gonna load automatically. Okay. Where's my choice in all this? Why are we going back here again? Unless we're actually going further back. I don't know what the fuck we're doing anymore. I am so fucking lost at whatever Pollon's ideas are.
要件を言えよ、不法侵入者ども。
His voice brought me back to my senses. Yeah, it's like, with these jumps, we're kind of getting lost in the past. Like, our memories, we're having to kind of, like, go back on them. I thought that they were just to try and, you know, help us out. But that's becoming more consistent. This was the moment we snuck into Gaia and found Asuma waiting for us. I had loaded and gone back to the point where I had saved. Everything seemed okay. I felt kind of weird just now, though. Well, whatever, I didn't have time to worry about that. I knew the path I had to take. If I could just pull off this one last play, everything would work out.
フェリーのアルカナってやつを捕まえる。みんな、協力してくれ。
I don't know how we're going to do that. That didn't go so well, and it was all because I...
そこまでだ奥田ユアン
神の名のもとに。
Is it because we confronted
Oi.
Ewan?
逃げた方がいい。
No, this is the
軍が
past
施
again.
設を爆破し始めた。ほら、
Oh hey, we're awake. What? Cross was in front of me. We were in, where was this again? There was a gap in my memory. Yeah. All this loading. All of this fucking loading. We're losing our memories from it. It happened again? I had blacked out 3 or 4 times during the last hour alone, and each time I was overcome with weird flashbacks. I felt like the events I had erased by loading were forcing themselves back inside my head. I kept losing consciousness for anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes, but I felt like my blackouts were gradually getting longer. They kept me from doing anything. I'd become a burden to my team. I'd never be able to take care of Felino like this. If I remember correctly, Cross and I were keeping an eye on the underground chapel she was in.
フェリーノは動いたか
ああ、ロザリオが追ったが、彼女にも成婚が出た。今はサメズさんとオズさんが引き継いでるが、見失った。
くっそ今の時間は
I looked at the date and time and realized that we didn't have long until the moment Miori Soga had died all those times. Momo was with Asuma right now, but... She shared her vision with me. There I saw Asuma and his mom. Ah, fuck, dude, no. Not this shit again.
顔も見たくないの。
Nah, of course, she has a knife. Okay, so this is all a fucking failure. This route won't work. She died. Miori Soga died. I thought I knew the way out of this mess, but once again, there was nothing I could do to save her. Yes, we know. I know. We all know. Actually, we've heard this. Anon, what is going on here? Is there some kind of malfunction with my save and load function? No, it works. Ah, forget it. I don't have time to speculate. I needed to load. And load you will, I guess. How far back are we going? Okay, so we're going back here now. I don't know if there were specifically times when we did. Like, we were there with Asuma, we told him what was happening, and then we just jumped the fuck out. I don't really know, but yeah, here we're actually going back to before we went into the Gaia Institution. I'm not sure if we were supposed to have gone here in previous jumps, and the little animation there just didn't do it. That was a little confusing. But I couldn't do it no matter how many times I had tried. To make matters worse, the more I loaded, the longer the flashbacks and blackouts became. Yes, we know. We know. How many times had I seen this now? 3, 4? This was the most I'd relived the same period. Was that why this was happening? Even with loading, I was useless. No matter how many times I tried, I couldn't stop Felino in the Holy Office 513. I couldn't save Asuma's mother. This is very similar to Okabe trying to save Mayuri. Just all those attempts over and over and over and over and over again, but like, there's just no way to do it. And he begins to lose hope. It all becomes a blur. You kind of forget how many times you fucking looped. One more time. I'll load one more time. That's a lot of shit getting blurred together there. Again? What would happen if I loaded even more? Would this happen no matter how many times I tried to change it? If I didn't load, Asuma would change into some calamity. I wouldn't be able to fulfill Cicada's request. I could end up losing my shot at stopping the end. There's another lovely blur of memories. Oh, good little hallelujah there at the end too. Thank you. Damn it. I wanted to do something, but in this state It's like we're missing one more very, very key detail that would just lead us right into it.
無理だ。俺には助けられない。すまない。
I felt my consciousness fading to black again. God damn, bro. Imagine the game just gave me a conclusion thing right there. It's like, yep, you fucking lost, you know? Go back to whatever point. Good luck figuring that one out. Die times, I don't know, 20, 30? Ewan, how dare you trick me? How dare you put my mother in harm's way? I'll kill you over and over. One death won't be enough for you. Suffer and die over and over. Die. Ewan's body began to twist like a cloth being wrung out. An invisible force was squeezing him, and I could hear each of his bones cracking. I have an idea, though it's very fucked. What if we used Asuma's hidden power here that allows him to do whatever, I don't know what his conditions are, to somehow defeat the person behind all of this, Follino? He was still conscious, and while he was still alive, he twisted around and around until he split apart into pieces. All that was left in one piece was his head, which rolled along the floor. He still had a contented look on his face, though.
なんだよその顔。二度と僕に顔を見せるな。見せるな。
As I screamed, an invisible force began crushing his head. It ended up flat as a pancake. Hey world, did you just do what I asked you to? I felt one with the world. Right now I felt as if anything I wished for would become reality, and I felt like wishing for everything to be destroyed.
そっか。
For no particular reason, I looked up at the ceiling, and I felt as if I was looking down at myself at the same time. I pictured them, above and below, infinite selves, every one of them, me, all of our thoughts melding together. After all,
ガイアは僕のものだ。
yeah, it's weird. What the fuck's going on here? This is some weird, crazy shit. Yeah, good a time as ever to finish up this episode, I think. I was thinking before recording again, because I like to think about, you know, what I've recorded, what's going on in the story, you know, like any other game, you know, like what's going on for predictions and stuff that I can bring up whenever I record again. And I'm thinking that the idea of the Earth simulators, what is reality, and, you know, Asuma's purpose, what he's got going on. I don't know. I mean, you got to think about how can he do the things he can do? If it is, you know, related to what we've seen out of Chaos Head and Chaos Trial, I don't think so. I think this is way beyond that. It's like he has control of the world as if it was his own simulator. But how would that work? It's as if the world had to be a simulator that he was controlling from the inside. So what does that mean for the rest of the world, you know? It's very confusing, but I'm just going to leave those thoughts there. Thank you all for watching this episode. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy.